everyone. Today we got to play the Pipeline expansion. So if you guys have watched our top 10, this is my favorite game. So when the expansion came out, I was like, yes, please. But before we continue any further, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing and that's what we want to share with you. I'm Dragonmother, this is Randrak, and we're here to share the game with you guys. All right, Randy, tell us more about this Pipeline expansion.
So Pipeline Emerging Markets, it was a 2021 release. That I think we got it in 2022 is when we finally got it. It was ranked 6.8 currently on Board Game Geek. There is no rating, rating of 6.8. There's no rank for it. 2 to 4 players because it doesn't change the player count for Pipeline. Designed by Ryan Courtney. Art by Ian O'Toole, published by Capstone Games, and they're one of my favorite publishers, so excited to give this one a try too, even though Pipeline is not as much my favorite as yours.
It's definitely my favorite. All right, so let's talk about quality of components. I think it's pretty much...
It's the same component quality.
It's the same component quality.
So the tiles are bowed a little bit, the large ones particularly, but the small ones as well.
You did get new...
we got new markers for the numbers.
And new cards. Right?
And new cards for both the valuation cards and the upgrades.
So, I mean, overall, this is the same quality that you saw in the original Pipeline. I don't really remember what we scored it, but it will be the same. So, moving on to theme...
Well... I'm going to go ahead and score this because the bowing is a little bit less than what it was. So I'm probably going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
The linen finish is nice, but the fact that the cardboard is bowing, I mean, we didn't see that in the original tiles.
No, we did not. But you're correct on that one. That's true. All right, so talking about theme hasn't really changed much for this.
It's still the same oil. The difference is really, it's all gameplay type.
Mm-hmm. And so then we'll keep on going.
We can talk about the rules. The rules book, this game was a beast to learn originally. The good thing is with this expansion, if you know how to play Pipeline, this is a cake to try to learn this game.
Yeah, you're just replacing what's already in the game. Yeah. So basically what the expansion...
4 pages.
Yeah, so, I mean... Well, we'll get into gameplay when we talk about that, what the differences are. So what would you rate the rulebook then? I
mean, given the fact that I was expecting a beast to learn, considering how bad the first one was, I was not expecting a 4-page sheet. And then when I saw how minimally this changes the game overall, I was like, oh, well, that explains it. It's basically 5 modular components that you can add to the game. We went ahead and added all of them, but we didn't actually... end up utilizing everything, and we'll get to that in gameplay. As far as the rulebook, it does a great job of explaining it. I'm probably going to give it a 9. It's really well laid out and very vibrant red for the titles, so you don't miss the titles. They shine.
All right, so let's talk about actual gameplay. So what this game is. Essentially, this expansion has it added some variability to the board, which causes kind of a restructuring of your strategy in some cases. So for an example, originally your crude market had every single kind, both the orange, blue, and silver. That can now change. And it did for us. There was only one place to buy orange oil.
Here in the refined market 1.
Well, what it's funny is like all the contracts and all the orders had orange in it. So it was...
yeah.
And on top of that, orange was really hard to... it had the highest number, 8, for just even to move to the level 1 unit.
Yeah.
So orange was very difficult and hard to game, which I kind of like some of that variability that it did add, because in some games... orange is going to be harder. Other times it's going to be blue. Sometimes it maybe more balanced with what they've added here. So I actually really like that. Also, the other thing that they added was not only is these inside 4 actions that move around, the other 4 do. At the beginning of the game, you randomly select both sides. And so it's different every single time. Really different. So it was like, what am I doing? Half the time. Although one of the markers got moved off the board and I was like, wait, this is supposed to be this. I had planned this out. And I ended up finding it later on. I was like, this is not where I want it. Anyway, so just be careful about them sliding away and you'll be like, wait, what is this supposed to be? But other than that, I really liked that variability kind of add there. And I do think it changes up the strategy quite significantly.
Yeah. The other thing is the refined markets. Those have changed significantly.
Oh, yes.
So previously it was all the same color in the 3 different levels of development of your oil. Right. Now it's completely hodgepodge. It could be any combination of colors.
Right. Well, I mean, it was like, you know, and this could end up pairing well to a strategy. For example, like this one, you could buy silver and sell silver. So like, in that instance, like, okay, maybe I focus on silver and can just buy, sell over here on this market. But like you know, so there is some strategy that can be seriously involved in this, but you also have to look at removal, right? So only 2 of these get removed, only 1 gets removed, or none get removed. So I think that makes, you know, you kind of have to kind of watch that too. So there's a lot of things going on in here that because of the switch up, it added a lot more complexity to the game without changing the rules a much, which I can appreciate. I will say some of the evaluation cards when we were looking at them for the expansion almost felt like a catch-up mechanism, and I'm kind of sad. But I do know that was one of the complaints that Rob had when we reviewed this, was that there were no catch-up mechanisms. But I think some of these
some of them feel very brutal. I mean, there's... So the valuations, just to give you, because there's only 6 of them, you get $100 per row in tank farms where you have no tanks. So basically, it's encouraging you not to build up to the maximum level. So you get a $100 bonus for each row that you don't have. Number of refined oil types in tank farms. So basically, just having your leftover oil of different colors. That one makes more sense. Number of pipeline types you do not have. Again, encouraging you now to play streamline.
To specialize, though. I mean, it's very possible that with the mix-up and mashup, there is a way to make a lot of money just focusing on, like, I'm just going to focus on
I could have
silver.
made some off of this because I didn't build any orange until the very end, and I didn't have to do that. I never used it. Longest length of pipeline, I do like that one, where... but actually this is a reverse. So it's the shortest, really, because it says longest, but you get $10 for having 12. You get $450 for having your longest length being 4. Which
there's no way to do right now in our game to have it actually be a pipeline, because we were at 5, 6, and 8. Because one of the other expansions was these tokens up here, where they slowly increase over time for the game, which... having a friggin' 8 at the very beginning was astronomically hard. I was like, this is I'm never gonna get here.
They replaced all the number tokens with 2-sided ones, and they start out on the white side, which is the lower of the values. But then each round, you're going to flip the current rounds over, or the round 1, round 2, round 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. So your values are going to go up, and when you flip them over, they're increased by a value of 1. So the 7s, which were already hard in the original game, are now 8s. And we got one in the first row for the oranges as 8, and that was just brutal for us.
It was very brutal. I felt it.
So, and what defines pipeline, as we found, is it has to actually produce or be able to produce oil of one of the 3 levels. So you're getting a pipeline that is level 1 to be on there is difficult. And this is one of the things. We have a number of pipelines. Now, this one sounds good because you could build a bunch of pipelines and get points, but it starts at 11. And it goes up to 19.
I mean, that would have to be your focus.
Yes, you would have to basically build a 4, 5, 6 length pipe and just abandon it and keep doing that over and over again.
But in like this instance, it would be very hard to do, right? It'd have to be a 5 silver, a 6, a 6 blue,
or an 8. I mean, again, these are modular, so you don't have to play with the brown tokens. Or you could not play with the cards.
But that's not going to be me. All right, so I think Ryan Courtney was able to add complexity without changing the rules very much. And that is modular, so you can continue. But there's a lot of variety now, and the strategy now has changed depending on the placement of the tiles. So giving this game a lot more playability, I think. And that's a pretty, I think, amazing thing for this game. It's just a shame you don't like it, because I would play this a lot if I had an option.
It's not that I hate the game. I suck at it. Two,
No, I win pretty handily a lot of the time.
I always go for in-game bonuses, and we just discourage that by putting in ones that I think they're contrary to strategy in the game.
I think they're catch-up mechanisms, okay?
Well, yeah, and the last one clearly is. You score it first, the lower amount of money you have, liquid cash at the end of the game, the better. So if you have $50 at the end of the game or less, you get $450.
Well, maybe maybe you're mostly focused on the validations, and maybe that's a thing to do. Be like, all right, I'm not gonna have any cash. I'm just gonna focus on getting all the other validation points to win the game. I think it's a catch-up mechanism. I really do.
So, I just don't find these to be a lot of As a matter of fact, if you shuffle them in and you draw one, it's going to take away one of your in-game bonuses, is the way I see it. Now, I mean, you could go for the gusto and try to get one, I guess, but it just seems like it's going to sacrifice your entire gameplay to try to do that.
Well, I mean, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I mean...
The other thing that was added is 3 upgrades. So they added 3 different ones, one being specialization. This is probably my favorite of the bunch.
I really wish I would have gotten that upgrade very early on. I didn't really get to...
And this is probably the most substantial add, I think, to the game. So it adds where you basically can draw. There's a whole deck of specialization cards, albeit a very thin deck. But these will give you basically discounts and bonus monies for when you do different actions. So this is orange pipe building, and this is for being a level 1 oil production, and they have different ones in here.
I thought that was super awesome, actually. I'm kind of excited about that, to be quite honest.
That one I liked a lot. The next one is the crude. This one gives you, you get to take the crude market action for free.
I got that, yeah.
You can receive up to 5 crude oil cubes from the crude market for free for the second level. And the third level, you can purchase crude oil from the crude market at the beginning of your machine phase. So basically an ongoing crude source.
Oh,
so that's nice. Pretty cool.
The problem with, that third level is it takes 3. You can't get it till year 3. Yeah. So, but that is pretty nice. Yeah. If I think I would have looked at that, maybe I would have given that one a go. But
now the last one I don't like at all. And this is the reason is it's an administrative nightmare. So the last one is a technology one, and it is, the first level is not bad. You can purchase upgrade cards levels less than the current grade, even if they've already been flipped. So you can buy basically a level 1.
Oh, that's
that one's not bad. But when
when
you get to level 2, you can receive any one level 2 upgrade from an upgrade that's not in the game, which means you have to go back to the box, pull out the technology card or all the upgrade cards, and pick one from those. And it's like, okay, I just put everything away back in the box, or else I have to leave everything out on the table, and this thing's already a table hog. So I anytime there's a game like Dominion did this, where they had one of the actions was one of the cards was let you get one from any of the other sets of cards, and it was like, that's ridiculous. I'm never playing with that card because there's like 200-300 card sets in Dominion, and you want me to shuffle one of every set into a deck. I mean, it was just crazy. But then the level 3 is the same thing, except for now you can get any one level 3 upgrade from any of the sets. So it's like,
I will say though, if that was there, but the human resource pro wasn't upgrade, I would be getting that one. So if there's that.
So yeah, I just don't like when the games do that, because it just makes it more of a headache for administration.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a substantial change to the game. It really doesn't change it substantially in my eyes.
It doesn't change the rules much, but it does change strategy quite a bit.
So given that you are the connoisseur of Pipeline, do you prefer Pipeline original, or do you like it with the expansion better?
I like the expansion better if I play with people that already know the game. Because the reality is there is a lot more strategy this way, and if you get people that don't know what's going on, they're going to feel lost, confused, and they're going to hate the game. So, so for me, if I have a bunch of experienced players, this is the way I want to play it. Because I like the fact that each game will be different. You'll focus on different strategies. And I'd like to see how that works out. So what about you? What do you think?
I don't like it as well with the upgrade. Honestly, I feel like the valuations don't add anything; they take away.
No, I agree with you as far as the validations. Those I could probably. I do not like catch-up mechanisms like that because for me that's what some of them feel like, and I don't know, for some reason it kind of cheapens the game a little bit. This is a high strategy game. You should know that going in, and just if you make a mistake, well, you know what, that's part of it.
Well, I mean, one of the things, like when the original game, we did have a criticism about the valuation cards, that they were basically repeats of what you were already scoring.
Right, now I do get that, yeah.
So that when we look at it now, these are definitely not repeats of what you were scoring before. So from that point, kudos, you did a good job in changing it up and making something that's different completely. But on the other hand, it's so contrary to the strategy of gameplay that's going to typically be used. Maybe it's just a matter of getting used to them. But I think if you get a mix of the ones that are duplicates of the ones that are already scoring you, it's almost like you have to play all of these and none of the other ones, or if you get a mix of ones that are double the value of the other. I don't know. It just seems like you either want to play one or all of one or all of the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. But it does allow for a different strategy, because I do think, that it may be true that you're repeating some of the same things. So if you did succeed at one thing, it would kind of doubly hurt the other players. So I guess in that aspect, that might be helpful. All the other ones I'm actually okay with, except for the money one. The money one does seem, and the only thing I could think of is the strategy to for it not to be a catch-up mechanism, is that you're just focusing on evaluations and not currency.
Well, I can tell you, with the score I ended up in the game, I would have been better off going broke and getting the $450.
I think you're right.
So you would have gotten the better off too, though. You didn't score that much higher than I did in this game.
Right. So, I mean, maybe we're doing it wrong.
The frustrating thing is it's my personal goal to get the 19 maximum on
I'm okay with this because that means that I'm okay with this because that
I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to play to get 19 pipelines that are actually production worthy. I'm going to post a picture and I'm going to frame that sucker. Because that's crazy.
Oh man, but I want to see it done. I don't know though if you can do that and the upgraded on the crew, the flipping thing, because those are difficult to do.
Yeah. Well, it makes it more challenging.
It does make it more challenging, and that's fine. So my thing is though, it adds something to the game, and if you're familiar with the game, I think and if you love it, then I think these are good ads. So, all right, let's give it a rating. You want to go first?
We're rating Pipeline with the expansion. I don't know how you can rate the expansion by itself. Given that, I'm probably going to rate it a 7.5, I think. I normally would give Pipeline like an 8. 7.5 with the expansion, I think.
I love this game. I don't know what I rated it last time. If not a 10, it was a 10. It's still a 10 for me. I still love it. I like the added strategy component. I like the variability. I like the next time I'm going to play it, it's going to be a little bit different. And I just wish we would play it more often, because I think we would be able to use some of that strategy better, because sometimes, we forget, okay, I need a machine right away, not necessarily building my pipe. There's some things that you kind of have to keep in mind when you're building it that I forgot, because it's been
I can tell you one thing I don't forget. I go broke in this every time on the first turn. I need to get a loan every time on turn 2.
Listen, I just accepted for the fact that you get 2 loans in the game. Like, you just know that going in. So you might as well, it's almost like my first 2 actions, I'm going to go get a loan. Like, just give me the loan. Like, go to the upgrade, go get a loan, go get another loan, and call it a day. So for me, that's my first 3 actions. There you go. But no, I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorites. So guys, take it for what you will. I love the economic part of this game. I love the Tetris piece with the tiles. Kind of all the things I love in the game.
Oh, that's one of the reasons I want to get that 19, because that's my favorite part. I like building the pipes. I don't care if I make money off of them, but I've got pipes that are all colorful.
It might be a thing to do, right? Like, it might be useful.
Yeah. Somebody might run something through it one day. I don't care.
Well, you know what that might be. There you go. Just focus on the pipes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to get money to buy the pipes, but you know.
We could have Kool-Aid going through it. I don't care. As long as they're pipes and they connect. That's all I care.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you had a great time. I know we certainly did. We'll catch you guys again later.
Bye.
Bye.